So for those of you watching at home, Gan just finished the Essential Series, and you're a little bit different than some folks because your wife took the Essential Series last cohort that went through. And so I'm super excited to hear a little bit about your experience with it now that you both got it. So how was the Essential Series? What do you think?
It's great. And a little bit of background. I had been doing some cooking at home even before taking any of this. And but again, I looked up recipes and sometimes I actually push recipes a little bit further. Right, I would actually look up the science of cooking and temperature and and I would experiment. Say this is how done the meat is, for example. But I didn't know how to branch out. So I had these sort of drills into trying to optimize one dish that I liked, and I would cook the same dish over and over again. But I didn't know how to really vary it because what if I'm out of garlic, or what if I'm out of an ingredient, right? And so it got more and more precise, and I got more and more stressed about executing it the way I wanted. Whereas this is completely changes the game, right? You start from these are really fundamental ideas, and then how you mix them up. If it deviates slightly, it's fine. If you don't have this, you can try for a different flavor or try for a different thing you want to go for, right? And I think the goal is, I'm not there yet, but I'm so much closer to being able to open the fridge and look at what's in the fridge and whip out something, as opposed to being I want to make these 3 dishes, so I gotta go add all of these to my grocery list and go and buy the exact number of ingredients.
That's where everybody comes into cooking. It's recipes rather than here's ideas and how to cook, and that's what I feel like is such a revolutionary thing about the Essential Series and how I teach that. And the fact that this works. The fact that this works so well, that's exactly why I
in terms of having a partner that has done this, our conversations about cooking are a lot more streamlined. We exactly understand what each other is talking about. When we mention something, right? So the language is now we're now using the same language, and then it's especially important because we're going to renovate our place in about a year, and we're looking at how to do the kitchen, and now we sync together on a lot of the ideas of how to renovate our kitchen, because we know we are going to cook with the same fundamental ideas, right? Same idea, same building blocks, and so we want things in a certain way. And so that even the renovation aspect of it has gotten better because of this.
That makes me so happy, and it's why I actually started doing kitchen consulting, because when you think about food and cooking like this, it changes how you set your kitchen up, how you set your world up, to make it your own, not mine, it's yours. And that's why when I do that, I ask a lot of questions, but that is what makes me so happy that you both wanted to go through the series, because it's you both came out of culinary school and now you speak the same language, like you said. I love that. That's all right. Okay, a couple of questions. How was the Essential Series compared to what you thought it would be?
This is interesting because my wife had taken it before. And so she mentioned a bunch of stuff about knife skills and prep, but she didn't really mention some of the later parts. Oh, she did come home with a sauce. So again, I sort of had some preparation in terms of the idea that it was going to be very fast paced and sort of more based on fundamentals ish. Because she had mentioned that, but I couldn't actually feel what it was until I started cooking in this kitchen, right? And be I'll adjust on the fly, right? And these are all the tools I have available to adjust whatever thickness or flavor or something on the fly that I want to. And it was very much a live thing, right? It wasn't a dead thing you're following a recipe. It's live. Right? On the spot, you try it and you see it and you smell it and you'll be okay, I want to change this a little bit, right? I'll take what are the steps that I can do to adjust it in the way I want, right?
Yes, and that's I can't tell you how it is, maybe. That's literally why I teach what I teach and how I teach it. That's super awesome.
So that part I wasn't expecting, and then it was a really pleasant surprise. It was really good.
All right, let's see. What have you noticed about your life that has changed since you started this course?
I think mostly, like I mentioned earlier, the conversations with my wife, right, about food and cooking, right. We had been I think we are somewhat discerning eaters, I guess, in terms of flavor. But then now we have the whole other element, which is like now we can talk also about how we think it was prepared, how it's like, yeah. So conversations with my wife alone, just from that, have like gotten more interesting.
Love it. That's what
Yeah.
just making, that's why, that's why I talk a lot more about than just food, because like, just trying to make your life better, that's the real goal. Just learning how to cook is kind of the byproduct of the series.
Yeah, and I think the other thing is that, again, trying to make cooking easier and less stressful for me is helping me like start to cook more rather than like like have the temptation to want to go out and eat, right? Like, because the temptation is always there when you have no time, when you have like when you're stressed about all your work and other stuff, and cooking seems like such an uphill task, right? And then so it's very easy to fall into the temptation of spending money and eating less healthy food like outside, whereas actually in my at least from what I found, when I cook at home, even if I make it as delicious as I want it to be, like by adding whatever unhealthy stuff, it still somehow, I think, weighs out, like feels better, like it feels healthier than outside, and I think it actually is from what my weighing scale is telling me, if I'm not lying.
Well, that's one of the things that like I preached in the series is like when you make it, you can add a little bit more what would be quote unquote unhealthy because you know how much is going in, and you're eating less overall because you're cooking with more vegetables. Like that's hell yeah. Let's see. How do you think these skills that you learned here will apply to other areas of your life?
Feel the unknown, and I had like there's always this hump to get over to trying something, and both in terms of work and other like hobbies and stuff. So it always takes me a while to like actually want to get over that and like that fear and like try something. But then this course really that like broke it down a lot, and it kind of does show that you just have to start, right? You just really have to try something.
Just get in there and start cooking.
Right.
All right, last one, super easy. Now knowing what it is, how much would you pay for this course? Now that you know what it is, and you can either give me a number, you can say double, triple, quadruple, whatever.
Probably at least double, right? Like at least double, maybe triple. Yeah, I think because if you weigh it out against like the food and just the amount you save over the rest of your life, if it even makes you cook one dish more a week, right? And that's really low. Like if you add it up over years, it's still gonna be savings. So it's like at least double, triple, maybe. Like it's hard for me to quantify right now, but it's a lot. This will change how I cook like for a long time. Right.
That's why I do it.
Yeah.
That's why I'm gonna thank you. I mean, this is why I do what I do, and I super appreciate your time to say some of these things on camera, because this is again why I do what I do. So, thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah.